Welcome to another episode of the BritCaveBlitz with the host, me, Smit, which is at SkyDaddySmit on Instagram and Instagram only. And you can follow the podcast at BritCaveBlitz on multiple social media things. Samuel is not here with me this week, and I can't find him, because he's got no social media, so I don't have a fucking clue where he is. He doesn't post anywhere, so I don't know where he is. He's off grid. He's literally off grid. But I have our old hostess with the mostess returning, giving me a hand, giving me a help, waving those luscious locks. I assume his camera's off.
Yes, I am back. I am as a guest, as I've been. This is my third guest appearance, I think it is. And yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm ready to go, ready to recap the week like I haven't done for quite a while. I did just get a text from Sam. He says he's living his best life and does not want to be disturbed except from his best friend.
Oh, okay. You started that sentence and I opened my phone to check the group chat and then realised, no, this is a bit. This is a bit.
It's not a bit. It's me and my best friend talking to each other.
Yes. I understand perfectly. Where can people find you on the old interneties?
Yes, so I am unusual_Greg on most/all social media platforms: Instagram, Twitter, Letterboxd. I think there's a Facebook page for it, but I haven't updated anything like that. And if you really want to, I am co-host on a Packers centric podcast called Unpacked, a Green Bay Packers podcast. We recap and preview Packers games and then a few other bits and pieces in the league. And we've brought a segment back from our unyapped off-season podcast called Letterboxd, and we just review films each week. It's been really good.
Wait, so you're reviewing films within the season as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Unyapped was a conversation podcast, and both myself and Murph really liked what we called the homework aspect of the podcast, where we set each other, we take turns setting films to watch, and we would both go watch them. The film that I need to watch over, in the next 48 hours is the film Death of Stalin. So yeah, we set each other the homework each week and review it after we've talked about the Green Bay Packers.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, it feels completely non sequitur because you're like football, NFL, NFL, injuries, playoffs, quarterbacks. Let's review a film, but I love it.
Joe Burrow's dyed his hair again, now legally blonde.
Oh my god, I want to do that so badly.
Yeah, you can have it. You discuss. Do you play the Colts this season?
I don't think we do.
Indiana Jones. You can watch one of those films that week. Everything's working out really good. Everything's syncing up.
I am looking for this now. Do we play the Colts this season? No, it's not looking likely. Cowboys, Bengals. So we can talk about Joe Burrow. So we can do the legally blonde joke. I love that. Cardinals, Steelers, Panthers, Eagles, Giants, Vikings, Lions, Bears, Broncos. So we can potentially do like a horse-related film. No, so we don't play the Colts this year. That's gutting. I'm writing that down though.
Future you.
If he's still there by the time I get there.
Yeah. So yeah, everybody go check that out, because I didn't know you were still doing films in season. I thought that was just an off-season thing. I remember that being really long for the podcast when it wasn't in season.
Yeah, so the off-season podcast was called Unyapped, a conversation podcast by Unpacked, a Green Bay Packers podcast. But obviously, because this is now in season, it's just Unpacked, a Green Bay Packers podcast.
Nice. Thank you very much for joining me and helping me out, so I'm not alone.
Yeah, we
This
all know
is.
what the episodes were like when you were on your own, so we couldn't risk that again.
Oh yeah, I used to do them all in one breath and then pass out afterwards.
Yeah. It was impressive,
Yeah,
but
yeah. To be fair, I probably should go back to doing that. Those were the best night's sleeps I've ever had. But yeah, we'll get into it, and we're just going to quickly start with the news. It wasn't much news to go off. Just like last week, it's mainly injuries. So I've been provided a lovely link by yourself with a
Yeah.
big list of injuries on there. So I'm just going to quickly rattle through them, and we're just going to pick 2 or 3 out there to talk about. So quickly, because they're in alphabetical order of the teams. Arizona Cardinals running back James Conner will undergo surgery for his ankle. Doesn't say how long he's supposed to be out, but yeah, he's out for a good while. Chicago Bears Colston Loveland, the rookie, has injured his hip. Don't know how long he's going to be out for. Bengals Samaje Perine out, along with Dalton Risner, the guard. There's absolutely no timescales on any of these. Cleveland Browns DeJuan Jones, right tackle, and exited during the first quarter against the Green Bay Packers. Yes, knee injury. CD Lamb, I think we all saw that, the ankle injury. It doesn't say it on here, but I'm pretty sure it said 3 to 4 weeks on the thing that I read, which I thought, if Jerry's smart, it should just put him on IR. And defensive lineman Kenny Clark, ankle, and cornerback Traven Diggs, shoulder, were ruled out during that game, so they'll be out for a bit. Green Bay Packers, you have your right tackle Zach Tom, oblique injury. Left guard Aaron Banks with a groin injury. Houston Texans cornerback Derek Stingley Jr. has an abdomen injury. Just says, yeah. No, yeah, never mind. Colts wide receiver Alec Pierce is on concussion protocol, and cornerback Kenny Moore has injured his calf. Jacksonville Jaguars wide receiver Diami Brown has had a shoulder injury. Las Vegas Raiders tight end Michael Mayer is on concussion protocol as well. Then we have Los Angeles Chargers running back Najee Harris has an ankle injury. Minnesota Vikings defensive tackle Javon Hargrave exited with a chest injury this week. New York Giants running back Tyrone Tracy Jr. has a shoulder injury. New York Jets linebacker Quincy Williams shoulder injury. Sauce Gardner was evaluated for a head injury, but did return to the game. So he's currently not out, but I think, depending on how practice goes, he could be a bit wobbly by game time.
Mm-hmm.
Philadelphia Eagles right tackle Lane Johnson, neck injury, cornerback
Adoree
Jackson, groin. San Francisco 49ers defensive end Nick Bosa, knee, is ruled out, and I'm pretty sure that is a season-ending injury with an ACL tear.
Yep.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers wide receiver Mike Evans has a hamstring injury. Their safety Christian Azian has a quad injury, and defensive lineman Logan Hall has a groin injury as well. And then we've got lastly Washington Commanders wide receiver Terry McLaurin, quad injury, and safety Will Harris has an ankle injury.
That is a lot of injuries for so early in the season. Obviously, we haven't started bye weeks yet, so it's a lot of those are going to have to either rush themselves back or miss a few games.
Oh, and at the bottom of this, Nolan Smith Jr. placed on injured reserve due to a tricep injury. And I don't know what it's for, but a notification just came up saying Njoku was changed from healthy to questionable.
Oh, lovely.
Even more. I mean, yeah, the first one I'll pick out, obviously, CD Lamb. Big part of that Cowboys offense. I don't know how much it really... I mean, yeah, it clearly affected them, but I also don't know how much it affected them because I'm still not rating the Cowboys that well on offense this season. But he is a massive part of that game. Like I said before, I'm pretty sure I saw it say 3 to 4 weeks, and I was like, if it was smart, like Jerry Jones would just put him on IR. Then
yeah, I mean,
because isn't IR minimum 4 weeks?
Yeah, in season it's minimum 4 weeks off. but I have heard that he wants to play next week, which I think would be incredibly risky. High risk of re-injury, especially. Not saying he's old by any mega evaluation, but obviously he's been in the league a number of years, and injuries are always harder to come back from. He is wide receiver 1 for the Cowboys, but they have options. I mean, Javonte Williams, their running back, caught a few. So there's ways that they can adapt. I think that the Cowboys offense is underrated for what it is at the moment. But yeah, they've definitely struggled to do a few bits and pieces, and especially that second half of their opening game against the Eagles, CD did not look like himself after doing a lot in that first week. So it's difficult to say how much he's going to have a mega impact. But yeah, he is wide receiver 1 for a reason.
Yeah, I mean it's those defenses that they go against sometimes, isn't it? That obviously they recognize his effects, so they just try and shut him out the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, he gets shut out and doesn't really get big numbers, but it's because he gets shut out and concentrated on that the other people get the numbers up, get the boosts.
Yeah. One for me, I think is going to have a bigger impact than people have probably given it credit for, is Alec Pierce of the Colts. I mean, he was, over 2 weeks has got a combined 8 receptions for 135 yards, which is really good numbers for what they need it to be. I think he's sort of, obviously when you think about the Colts offense, you mostly thinking about Pittman Jr. I think Alec Pierce being that, yards after catch or longer out sort of guy, I think he's going to have a bigger impact on that team by being out. If he misses a game due to that concussion protocol, I think he's going to be a big miss.
Yeah, he was. I mean, yesterday I think last year, most of his numbers came from, obviously, Anthony Richards being the QB. He was the deep threat, so he was always I'm open deep, and once I'm there, I'm gone type thing. So it does feel like they've lost that deep threat. I don't know. I don't think they were really, utilizing that offensively. With Daniel Jones at quarterback, I think it's an every now and again thing. Whereas Anthony Richardson was just like more of a fuck it, somebody's down there and I can get the ball down there.
Yeah.
Person. But yeah, I completely get what you mean. But I do think they have a fair few decent wide receivers. So hopefully it doesn't have too much. Now, is there, just because obviously the Packers, it says that there was 2 injuries for you guys, is there either one of them that you think is big?
Both of them. I can't overstate this enough. Neither of them should have started that game against the Browns, because they both got injured. They were both a re-injury from week 1. I believe neither of them played week 2 against the Commanders, and I believe that neither of them should have started this game against the Cleveland Browns, and because both of them got re-injured in this game. Zach Tom got re-injured after the first snap he played, I think it was. I mean, as much as Belton did not do a good enough job at right tackle, Kennard, our other backup, done a serviceable job, and say that right tackle position was more valuable in some of the games. In the game against the Cleveland Browns, where Myles Garrett was covered up, sort of thing. Aaron Banks, I say, he's in that first game. He proved himself to be an awesome option and an awesome pickup. But again, I would have rather neither of them started this game against the Browns, so that they could come back into the Dallas Cowboys healthier. Whether either of them start against the Cowboys, I have no idea.
Yeah, I will say as well, that doesn't feel like the week that you bring somebody back from injury as well. To go against that Browns D-line is horrendous.
No, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. And I'll say, what would you prefer? Letting them sit a week and game planning around a less than optimal lineup, or hoping for the best that they last the entire game to then go against the Cowboys O-line to then get a rest. I would much rather have them rested for the 3 weeks, get 3 weeks of solid rest, and we game plan around a weaker O-line, and then go into, because we've got a very early bye week. After that, we've got a week 5 bye week. After that, we have got 13 weeks to get through. And now these guys are just going to be consistently on and off, on and off, on and off. And I just don't think it was very smart managing for us to put them into this game.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And Falcons are on a week 5 bye week as well. That's I did say I prefer a later bye week than an early one.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then the only other one on this list I want to talk about slightly was obviously not 100% sure how long it's out for, but Derek Stingley Jr. for the Texans. Obviously, they're an 0-3 team at the moment. They're really struggling. I think mainly struggling on offense. The O-line isn't helping Stroud at all. But Stingley Jr. is an amazing defensive back. And they've just recently released CJ Gardner-Johnson. And it's been reported that his releasing wasn't down to his skill level and ability on the field. Obviously, they are an 0-3 team. So there was issues as you're clearly not helping us stop plays getting through. He was more of a personality conflict type thing. And they just didn't want to deal with him type. So to have him gone, and then I would say your star defensive back, when your offense is struggling to put the points up and you're really relying on your defense keeping out as many points as possible, it doesn't feel like a lot's going right for this. I'd say apart from CJ Stroud's rookie season, things aren't really falling into place like they feel like they should have.
Oh, completely. I think, as I say, from I completely understand what you're saying about him being, one of the lockdowns of their defense. I think you rest this guy until he's 100% fit, because at the end of the day, whilst your offense is still letting you down, you don't rush guys back on defense. If they get to a point where they're losing by a field goal, put him in. But the way that they just have not been able to put up points, you need to focus resources on making sure that offense clicks and then worry about getting your injured guys back. As you say, they're an 0-3 team. At the moment, they're not doing anything of note to get to the right place.
So we'll leave the news there because we don't want to, like we said, there's a long fucking list. We'll be here forever if we want to go through every single one of them. So we'll just quickly hop over onto our segment that we've been doing this season. Sam doesn't want me to call it hot takes, but I keep calling it hot takes. I don't know what else to call it.
Call it hot cakes.
But I'll go first just to sort of give you the vibe of what we've been going through. I have been theming mine each week. Like the first week I did tight ends, and then last week I did quarterbacks. This week I'm going running back.
Okay.
So, my first hot take is that it is mainly due to the offensive play calling and coordination of the Atlanta Falcons, Bijan Robinson will not be a top 5 running back this season.
It's hard to disagree with that one. When you think about some of the running backs you've got currently going through, I know they're not an amazing team. So you got James Conner for the Cardinals, Aaron Jones, still a really good running back for Minnesota. But then you got the big ones, what's his
first
name?
2 you picked, aren't they both injured?
Oh yeah, but they're not out though, are they? They're not out.
I guess, yeah.
But I say even then you've got Gibbs, Cook for the Bills.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor on the Colts is having an amazing year as well.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Josh Jacobs, even though he didn't have a great game against the Cleveland Browns, he's still, I would say in the top 10, potentially fighting up there.
Yeah, considering the game that King Henry had against them, he had a much better game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking when I was writing down this take, could he not even be a top 10 running back this season?
I think it's about the rest of the operation, because if you can't get your run game, if you can't get your pass game going, you're a two-dimensional team, and they know to run block. You know, he's an incredibly talented runner, but if everybody knows that you're getting the ball, you're easy to stop. You know what I mean? There's no way you can run through 11 other people.
Yeah, that's my first hot take.
Carson Wentz should stay as QB1 for the Minnesota Vikings. You surprised me with this running back theme that you've brought up, so I'm just going with mine. He should stay QB1 of the Minnesota Vikings, and then McCarthy can actually have a full rookie year.
Now, I have 100% thought this season already.
Okay.
Second, he not even before the injury.
Mm-hmm.
I think at midway through week 2, I was I feel like he should have another year sitting behind somebody again.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't think it'd be Carson Wentz, but yeah, I have already thought about this, and I do think it's a pretty solid.
Yeah,
take.
Absolutely. Yeah, and one of the things I thought at the start of the year was they should not have released Sam Darnold. They should not have allowed Sam Darnold to go. At the end of the day, it might not have been down to just him in that offense, but you had a winning hand. You've probably had one of the best Minnesota offenses for God knows how long, and you're letting one of the key components of it go in the hopes that somebody who has not had a rookie season should then be the starter straight away. And I thought that was ludicrous. So when they brought in Carson Wentz, I was like, right, I genuinely thought they were going to win this game. And then they went and had a fantastic offense. And I thought, right, well, clearly right now, the winning hand tells you that Carson Wentz is QB1, and let JJ McCarthy sit and learn.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. Again, I don't think there's anything else to say. It's because I genuinely don't disagree with that at all. I have thought that.
Cool.
So this is kind of leading on from what you were saying about Bijan. My other take was, if Ashton Jeanty was drafted to the Browns, I think the Browns would be running that division right now. Quinton Judkins and the other running back rookie that I'm forgetting the name of.
Okay.
Both are having decent outputs in their yardage because they have a good O-line to open the gaps for them. I saw a stat today or yesterday where, say, Ashton Jeanty is currently on 439 yards total. 438 of those yards are after contact. And the last game that they just played, he was hit on or behind the line of scrimmage on 57% of his snaps because the O-line are letting the pressure through too fast.
Okay.
I'm picking the Browns because they're not a great team. They don't have an offensive identity. He is a good running back when he has the line to help him. And considering how good their defense is, if they had an offense to actually put the points up, I think that they would be running that division.
Okay.
So that's my hot take number 2.
Cool. All right. My hot take number 3. Now, this might be the coldest hot take. The Saints don't get a win this year. It's obviously yes. they are 0-3. They've played okay teams in the Cardinals, 49ers, who are banged up, and the Seattle Seahawks, who have had a bit of a mismatch. But their next game is against the Bills. That's a loss. The Giants, not a great team, but I think the Saints are worse. The Patriots, loss. The Bears, loss. Buccaneers, loss. Rams, loss. Panthers, loss. Falcons, again, I don't think that the Falcons are a terrible team. I think that they just have a bit of of quite a few issues at the moment. But by the time you get to mid-November, the Falcons would have worked something out. Dolphins, they're going to pick themselves back up. That's a loss. Buccaneers, loss. Panthers, loss again. Jets, loss. Titans, again, not a great team, but there's a lot of good pieces on that team. And I think Cam Ward's going to work a few bits and pieces out, finishing the season up with the Falcons. Again, end of the season, I think there's going to be some kind of race to get to the playoffs between you and the Buccaneers, if you can get something together. But that'll be an important game. I think that's another loss. So well done, Smith. You're going to get 2 wins.
Yes, we're going to be 3-14.
Yeah, buddy.
But yeah, no. Honestly, I'm more excited about Saints having no wins. That's funny to me.
I just don't see, other than the likes of like Alvin Kamara, Olave, I don't see pieces on that team that I think are winners. If that makes, like, I'm not saying they're like the whole team's a bunch of losers sort of thing, but I don't think that Kellen Moore is as good a head coach as he is an offensive play caller. I don't think that there is as much defensive pieces on that team as they need. I don't see them getting a win this year. Unless it's like a freak accident where every single member of the team is injured, and like, you know, they win by a field goal or some shit like that.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of named the only people that I feel like are good there anymore. Because even like defensive, I think the only 2 that I could probably name off by heart. Well, actually, no, I can name Cam Jordan on a line. He's still an okay defensive lineman. But the other 2 were Tyrann Mathieu, retired, and Marshawn Lattimore, now at the Commanders.
Yeah, I mean, the only other one I know of is Kool-Aid McKinstry. But I don't think he's enough to, you know, really, you know, shore up a defense by himself. You know, the kicker, Blake Grupe, not fantastic. Like, again, kickers this season have really struggled. So to rely on him to kick your winning field goal, I just don't see it. Yeah, I don't think there's any pieces on this team in place. And I say, I'm not disrespecting Spencer Rattler. He's had a much better, you know, season so far at quarterback than I could have predicted, but he's just not got the winners around him.
Yeah, no, I completely understand that. And I know I look forward to that actually happening and hoping for it.
There you go. Glad I could help you.
And then my third and final take. I mean, this one's a bit calmer. That I think Scatterbo for the Giants will go for 1,000 all-purpose yards this season.
I can definitely see that now that Tyrann Tracy is injured for a bit. I know that for quite a few drives, the Giants have been swapping them in and out. Now that it's all going to be him, I think that they're going to form a bit of a running identity. So I can absolutely see that happening.
I also like, that's why I kind of like specifically went for all-purpose yards, because he's a decent receiving running back as well. Where I think Tracy was more the running back type.
Rushing. So he's already on 189 yards this season over 3 games.
He's going to get 1,000. So, easy.
Yeah.
Is that just rushing as well? Not
nope, that's all of them. All purpose. He's got 23 carries for 102 yards and then 10 receptions for 87 yards.
Yeah, he's hitting 1,000 easy.
Yeah. And that's when he's been sharing the attention with Tyrann Tracy. So now that it's just him, and obviously any backups that they've brought in, I think, he could easily be the star of the show and get to easy 1,000.
Yeah, that was my take 3. Have you got a third take then, or even if your hot take is just like a Super Bowl prediction.
Oh, easy Super Bowl prediction. Easy. It's going to be the Green Bay Packers and Buffalo Bills.
I can see the Bills getting there.
I think it, and I think Micah Parsons said it best. With the defense that we currently have, all the offense need to do is put up 20 points. If we'd have put up 20 points in the game against the Browns, obviously we'd have won because we'd have won 20-13. Even if they'd have scored the exact amount of points, I think that two things need to happen for the Green Bay Packers to get there. Matt LaFleur needs to either step back as a full-time play caller and let Stenovich do the work, or Jordan Love needs to get more confident and actually overwrite some of the play calls sometimes. Because there are times when Matt LaFleur cannot adjust to the stuff that's happening on the field. We go up 10 points into the fourth quarter, and we have so many possessions, wasted possessions. Go here, go there, go there. No. He can't adjust. We can't get anything going on the run game, and he's trying to put Love into a position to force deep balls. I don't think that some of the play calling has helped us in that situation. If the play calling had been able to adjust properly in that game against the Browns, I think we'd have won that with a lot of short outs.
Yeah, no, I get that.
And I say our defense, as with the addition of Micah Parsons, with Xavier McKinney being there, with our, if Keyshawn Nixon can lock in like he did in week 2, if Carrington Valentine can stay, well, we've got the guys on the line. Our defense is a Super Bowl winning defense. It's just our offense needs to make sure that they put up 20 points a game.
I mean that kind of reminds me about the Saints thing. I was watching something this morning, and Drew Brees was on one of the shows.
Yeah.
And they were saying, like, what do the Saints need to do? What do the Saints need to do to win a game? And he was just like, literally just needs to put up 24 points a game, and then they can run that division.
Yeah.
If they put up 24, any other team in that division who is out every game. Yeah, I completely get that. And yeah, your defense is looking strong.
Yeah.
So the Xavier McKinney pick was exciting because I remember him being a big thing. Like a pick a week for 4 weeks in a row last season.
Yeah, I think it was somewhere close to like 8, and then I jinxed it by putting a bet on it. So sorry, Xavier McKinney.
No worries. Well, there's our 3 hot takes. Coming out of week 3 to week 4. Right, should we get into some action games? Or preview?
Sure.
I should say, not prediction. Right, well, yeah, let's go. Thursday night game, or Friday morning for ourselves. Seahawks at the Cardinals. Seahawks 2-1. Divisional game. Have you got any thoughts on these two?
It's a difficult one to kind of assess because the Seahawks have been quite hit and miss, but then also so have the Cardinals. Obviously, Seahawks had that big win at the weekend, but against a not so and so team, Cardinals could not scrape a win against a injured division rival. I think this could be a Seahawks win if the offense can keep to their kind of fundamentals. If they can keep their run game going, if the Seahawks can keep their run game going with Kenneth Walker, and Sam Darnold had, quite frankly, a freak game of 14 of 18 for 218 yards. If they can repeat that, then there's realistically nothing that the Arizona Cardinals can do about it.
I mean, the one thing that I was kind of worrying about was obviously their standout wide receiver is JSN. The Cardinals' rookie cornerback this season has absolutely been locking down wide receiver ones. Again, obviously it was Olave for the Saints, but he absolutely put on a clinic for him. So yeah, I guess if they do focus more on the run game, there's more of a chance for them winning. But there is that type of they're kind of cutting off access to JSN if he's at that level during this game.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you. I just don't. I think if they do focus on JSN, the rookie Horton's been quite a good option. Obviously, they've got previous Triple Crown winner Cooper Cup there, um, so there are other options. My biggest concern for the Cardinals offensively is the drops that we saw against the 49ers. There were some absolutely horrific drops that I just think, those are rookie errors, those are rookie mistakes that really need to be ironed out if the Cardinals are gonna do anything in this game.
Oh yeah, like
Time.
it is one of them that like a standout young wide receiver in Morrison Jr. supposed to be that next big thing. If he's having games like that, there is a certain amount of okay, maybe we don't have to put all this defensive pressure on him. Let's focus on the tight end who's getting a lot more targets. But
Yeah.
he's being locked down. It does like you were saying before, when you become a bit one-dimensional team, it very much limits the options. And even when you've got a scrambly QB, it doesn't feel like it's been helping him at all this season.
Yeah, I completely agree.
First game of the Sunday window. Vikings at the Steelers. International game, island game in Dublin. Do you think this is going to have an effect with neither of them having a home ground and this being the first Dublin game?
I don't think it is going to have an effect. I think neither of them are traveling mega far. I think obviously these are quite Midwest teams. I think this is going to be a what is it, 6 hour, 7 hour journey so for both of them. So I've no idea whether it's going to be too much of an impact. I do think that this is going to be a very good game, given the state of both of the two teams going into this. I think Minnesota potentially have the edge for me just in the way that their defense played in the previous game against the Bengals. I think their offense, now that they've got Carson Wentz, is probably firing a bit better than previously. And I say with the Pittsburgh team, we've seen definite stutters over the past two games. Their really only standout performance was against the Jets, so I'm not 100% sure how I feel about them as a cohesive offensive unit.
Yeah, offense feels like it's definitely like it's not doing amazing, but it's not doing shit. It's like it's in this state of flux, and even the defense, it's like it feels a bit wishy-washy. I've seen some clips of like TJ Watt kind of like giving up the chase on a QB, and then it just don't feel like they're putting on the pressure as much as they would usually do.
Yeah, completely agree with you. And I feel like it's that's going to have a massive impact on what the offense is able to throw out.
I am kind of regretting not picking this as a prediction game because it was a Dublin game. I completely forgot about it now. But this isn't a prediction game, so we won't go against any scores. But if you were to pick a winner out of this, who do you think is going to win? I'm not going to lie, because I think everything's a bit up in the air with the Steelers either side, when I thought the defense was going to be dominant, and it's not. I'm kind of thinking the Vikings can take this quite easily.
Yeah, I mean that's I say it's my thoughts as well. I think that the Vikings are currently the informed team, with the Steelers, as I say, finding out a lot of stuff. So yeah, my money's on the Minnesota Vikings as well.
Fucking hell. Right, there we go. Washington Commanders at the Atlanta Falcons. Before going into this is a prediction game, and it's kind of a revenge game for Marcus Mariota. He's coming back to the team he was just at. Yeah, he was just here last year. No? Yeah? No. I can't remember. But yeah, he's coming back. I did think
Yeah, I
it
think
was
he
kind
was
of a
a
bit of a revenge game, but
yeah.
then I also thought, I think it's more of a revenge game against Arthur Smith. So if he played when they play the Steelers, but yeah, the Jaden Daniels is still kind of questionable, so I feel kind of good about that. But then last week's performance against the Panthers was absolutely shocking, and I don't understand how we're supposed to be competitive this season when we were doing what we were doing that week.
Yeah, I mean it's completely fair. I mean that especially that offensive unit, I really don't know how to assess what's going on with them. It's going to be a very difficult game on offense. I'm not going to say that the Commanders have a particularly devastating secondary, but that defensive line of Bobby Wagner, Frankie Louvu, being able to get to stop the run, get to Penix if Penix is going to start this game, and see what happens. Jaden Daniels and the Commanders had a rough week too, and then had a kind of get right game against the Raiders. So we can see how they go. Sorry, Marcus Mariota had against the Raiders. But we'll see what happens. I think their run game could be a factor in this. I think, yeah, the Commanders' run game, not the scariest of names on the team, McNichols, Rodriguez Jr., but we can see how Scary Terry comes into this. Zach Ertz, go from there. I think, unfortunately, I do think this is an easy prediction unless the Falcons do something special in this game.
Obviously, first prediction, and as much as it pains me to say it, I do feel like I have to bias for this week because I'm pretty sure we got rid of our offensive coordinator. Or not offensive coordinator, wide receivers coach, something like that. Something on the offensive side, something has changed. Hopefully, that will be like a clicking of okay, we're locked in now. Let's do this type of thing. Injured. They've not got all of the first stringer guys. Maybe we can do something. Maybe we can try some things out. Not be so one dimensional. But yeah, I'm going to be my boys and go for a Falcons win.
Yeah, I mean, this is it's a difficult one. As much as I would like to say the Falcons are going to get any kind of points in this game, would be really quite good for it. But yeah, I think this is Washington Commanders getting the win, unfortunately.
So unfortunately, we had some technical issues, but so we had to stop the recording there together, and I'm just going to finish this off on my own. So yeah, that was the Commanders and Falcons game. Sam has also gone with the Falcons, just so we know for predictions. Moving on, we've got the Saints at the Bills. Just double check that is that way around. Yes, it is. Not much to say here. The Bills are looking amazing, really strong with Josh Allen and James Cook. His receivers are playing decent, but I think if he had a next level guy, this team would be unstoppable. But he's really making good use of who he has. Keon Coleman has been looking a little quiet after like a breakout week was it week 1 of the season. So hopefully that gets a bit better this week, given how bad the Saints are this season. And then the other side, Saints are just, I think they're step 1 out of 100 or step 3 out of 100 for their rebuild. So they're not going to be good for a while. So I do think the Bills will win that quite easily. Next we have the Eagles at the Buccaneers. Now the Buccaneers have activated or put him on their practice squad anyway. Watson, the guy they got from the Florida Gators, really, really heavy guy. Let's see if they activate him and put him on the squad to try and stop the tush push. Let's see if that's the thing. But like we've discussed a few times, the Eagles don't really look like they should be the Super Bowl team. But we can't put it past them that they're probably still doing that, and they're just like, it's just being played a lot smarter and a lot less aggressive. Buccaneers, exciting team. They do have a fair few injuries. I don't think Mike Evans is in this game. Tristan Wirfs is still out. So I think there'll be a bit of a struggle. Maybe they'll keep it close like the Rams did last week, but there'll be no like last minute fuck up type thing for them to lose the game. So I think the hope is that people could see a Buccaneers win here, but I think that the logic says that the Eagles will take this. And then we have the Browns at the Lions. Now, this is good. This will be a good game because this will test how good the Lions offense actually is. Is it outstanding? And again, how good is it against this team that defensively are really able to shut people out? And obviously, I think this is the running joke that imagine if the Browns had an offense. If they had an offense, bloody, I think, yeah, they would run. They would run that division. The defense is insane. I get that they had a bit of an issue week 1 against the Ravens, but all right, a lot of teams had issues week 1. It was week 1. Nobody had any film on anybody or anything. So this will be an absolute test to see who's better, Browns defense or Lions offense. I personally think that the way the Lions play, they'll be able to put points on the board no matter what. Even if it's not a blowout 40, 50 point game like they usually do. Could be like a 21-14 victory type thing, or 21-10, something like that. But I think that they'll do just enough to get points on the board. Next we have the Jacksonville Jaguars at the San Francisco 49ers. Jaguars still an absolute mess. 49ers, I think Matt Jones is still currently questionable. I don't know who the backup quarterback is. And then, yeah, there's injuries all round. Obviously, they haven't got Nick Bosa on the defensive line anymore. So just like last week, how Sam had said, this is a weird game. That they could win and they ended up beating the Texans. This also is a weird game that, the 49ers have so many injuries. They could lose this to the Jags. They genuinely could. And to be honest, because they are healthy, I probably have not more faith, but more instinct that the Jags would take this. So that's going to be a weird one. Then we have the Chargers at the Giants. These are in the wrong order. Chargers at the Giants. Jackson Dart is starting. I think this is going to be a rough game for him to start, but I do hope that he does well. I think he can prove that he is and should always be and should have been QB1. And then Scatterbo, it's just a good running back to watch. He's excited. He's fun. And then the Chargers are just on a dominant season this year. So I doubt this is going to go the Giants' way when it comes to the end result. But I think this new Giants offense with Dart, Scatterbo, and then Neighbours is just as impressive as he has been since last year. He just needs a reliable passer to get him the ball. They are looking decent, I'm not going to lie. Then we have the Titans at the Texans. This is a prediction game. Both teams are 0-3. I've just realised that Greg sent me notes in case. Oh yeah, so let's go off Greg's notes. Stroud's regression is shocking to see. The defense is going to keep them in the hunt for a win, and the Titans' offense is less than stellar. Could be an interesting game that might start something for either team. I'm going out on a limb and saying that the Titans are going to win this, as they look to be closer to getting it right. I mean, I get what he means. The thing with the Titans is they have an okay O-line, and the quarterback is good. It's just the receivers, actually, when the ball comes to them, they aren't always following through, basically. They aren't always getting the grabs and then getting the yards after the catch. But I think the line and the quarterback are good. Don't get me wrong, Texans, Stroud, I think is a good quarterback, but the O-line just simply, I think 1 to 2 seconds, if he had a decent O-line that gave him 1 to 2 seconds more, he'd be able to make his reads better or make that extra read, and the pocket wouldn't break down from the entire pocket all at once, and he would actually be able to use his legs a little bit. But at the moment when it breaks down, it just collapses all the way around and there's no way to escape. So yeah, I believe Samuel has put the Titans to win this one as well. I'm also feeling the Titans, but yeah, I'll go with the Texans. I like the Texans more. Let's go with the Texans for this one. Next, we have the Panthers at the Patriots. Now, Patriots, because Sam is a fan, I have quite a bit of faith or a bit of hope for them. I think they are looking decent. It's just there's been a few issues, and the teams who they've played against are just on the ball and have been able to take the win. The Panthers, I mean, fucking hell, I don't know what to say. They played good last week. They played good. I mean, regardless of how shit the Falcons played basically into the Panthers' trap and just got destroyed, the Panthers looked decent. They did. This is that thing where, Sam's said 3 quarters of the game they're looking good, and then there's that last quarter where they just look absolutely horrific. This was a game where, the team who was against them weren't doing much. So it didn't look like that much of a regression in the last quarter. So, the Panthers look okay, but I think a team that actually has it together with Vrabel at command, I think that the Patriots are going to take this. Next, we have the Colts at the Rams. Excited for this one. I want to see the Rams D-line go against the Colts O-line and see what Daniel Jones we get. Are we still going to get Indiana Jones, or are we going to go back to Danny Dimes with a bit more pressure on him? And then I believe the deep threat Alec Pierce is currently out, so it's going to be, I think, shorter but more consistent passes and a lot more reliability on Jonathan Taylor. Rams side, obviously, Nakua is their go-to guy, and no matter who is defending him, he's getting the ball and he's getting yards. Let's see what Greg has to say about this. Greg, every fibre in my being wants to question how the Colts are 3-0. Jones is playing the best football of his career and has a supporting cast that know what they are doing. The Rams are a legit competitor. How have we not missed a beat? How have we not missed a beat looking like they have got what it takes to be the reigning champs? This is going to be a very close contest. And for some reason that sentence didn't connect properly in my mind. But yeah, I get what it means. Basically, yeah, the Rams, I think, are, even when they've been in quotations rebuild mode, they've been Super Bowl competitors or playoff competitors at the very, very least. But the Colts are giving everybody a run for the fucking money this season. So yeah, let's see how they do against this caliber of team. Got the Ravens at the Chiefs. I personally think that the Ravens should take this. Chiefs look terrible. I think they get Worthy back this week. It's just, their offense isn't great. They don't have a good running back. They don't have the best wide receivers currently because of injuries and suspension and all that shit. I think in a couple of weeks they'll be a lot better, but for now they are not where they want to be. And I think the Ravens defense will definitely put them in their place. Ravens, given how much Derrick Henry was shut out last week, I don't think they're going to hand him the ball off as much, especially with these fucking fumbles. He's having one a week. But I think, the Chiefs defense, no matter how well it is schemed, that line and linebackers and everything, this first level of defense, is not that type of shutdown defense like the Browns have been this year. So I don't think that they're going to stop the Ravens from getting in. Then we've got the Bears at the Raiders. Unsure about this game. Raiders are looking a bit wishy-washy. Bears, everybody was impressed with the performance that they put up against the Cowboys, and yeah, it was impressive. Yeah, it was well schemed and well called offensively, but when you look at the defense of the Cowboys, it was all over the place. Like, everybody was open. I'd say like 70% of the time, they were just in open space. Anybody could win that. The Texans could win that. So I don't think that game should be a measurement of like, oh, the Bears are looking great. It was just against. It was almost against an empty field. I'm surprised they didn't put up more points. And then the Raiders, yeah, the O-line is shattering what Ashton Genty could be. Gino, obviously, he's used to being behind a line like that and good under pressure. But yeah, when you've got a running back who has more yards after contact than he does yards, there's clearly an issue there, which needs fixing. I don't know how they're going to fix that this season. It's probably going to scar Genty's rookie season. But yeah, I don't know how they're going to fix this year. It's just going to be an issue. Oh yeah, next year maybe they'll concentrate on drafting for the line, getting some free agents in. But for now, yeah. Then we have the late game on the Sunday, the Packers at the Cowboys. Now, given what I've just said about the Cowboys and that the Packers have an offense that has consistently worked, the Packers seem like the easy win on this. This also is our last prediction game for this week. Sam has gone with the Cowboys. Greg has clearly gone with the Packers, his Packers. And I'm confident the Packers win for this as well. I don't think Prescott will be able to get the ball out to his receivers as well as he has been doing the past few weeks with CD Lamb being out. So I think the offense is going to be, it's going to be staggered. And then the defense, we've already seen, it was shit. If it's like that this week, the Packers are putting up 40 points. Easy. And I think Mika might be getting in Dak's face for a sack as well. Good old return/revenge game. And then, to finish off the week, we have the Monday night games. First up, we have the Jets at the Dolphins. Another game where it's two teams 0-3. Let's go off Greg's notes first. If the Dolphins play like they did at the Bills, this could be a great game. Glenn and the Jets are starting to roll well. I think Taylor has to start again as he managed to get that offense into solid positions. Dolphins need positive movement, especially at home. Yes, I agree. Now, Dolphins defense has surprised me how well they play. Jets defense, I think, has always been decent. It is the offense. To me, if it can be put together, the Dolphins have a better offense. If the Dolphins play the offense that they did 2 seasons ago, where they used a lot of motions and basically just used speed to get past everybody into open space, they can take this. But the Jets actually do have a chance, and I personally, because this is a divisional game, I would prefer the Jets to win. I don't know why. I just do. I would prefer the Jets to take this win. But yeah, I think this is going to be, it might not be a high scoring game, but I think this is going to be a close game. And then finally, to end the week, we have the Bengals at the Broncos. I mean, Greg's notes say this quite simply. Broncos win, Bengals are going to really struggle to put some points on the board. Yep, completely agree. Bengals are, let's just say it now, their season's over. They're not making the playoffs at all. I've seen a few things that they should, just be like, right, Trey Hendrickson, we had a 1-year deal. Let's put you somewhere where you can be effective for a different team. Definitely a team that we're not going to play for the rest of the season. Let's put you over there, try and get some draft capital for next year. And then, I say hopefully have the sense to build on that line and protect Burrow. But then they also need an actual fucking defense. And obviously that's getting rid of the best player to get some picks. Don't know the best way to go about it. I would say protecting Joe Burrow because he is putting points on the board. You want to protect him and keep him healthy. That's probably the first thing. That's probably top priority. But yeah, in regards to this game, they are not going to do well at all. The Broncos have this in the bag. Unless Bo Nix turns into the ultimate form of Bo picks and throws like 3-4 picks in the game. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think they've got a good passing game, got a great O-line, good run game because of that O-line, and the defense is just great. So I think that, yeah, they're taking that game easy. Right, well, that ends the week. I'm sorry it's not as detailed as usual, but like I said, there was some shit that went wrong, so we had to resort to this to actually have an episode and get an episode out. I was Smith, which is at SkyDaySmith on Instagram and Instagram only. For the start of this episode, Greg was with me. He is at unusual_Greg on social medias. You can follow at BritCaveBlitz on social medias, and he has the Unpacked podcast. I think on Spotify I think Spotify is the only place to find it, but you know, if you want to try other podcast places, try there, but Spotify is really good for it. And then yeah, Sam has given me predictions but wasn't here unfortunately for either time. So yeah, Sam, I don't know what you'd say this week. Woo, we'll get a win. 2 wins. Greg would say go Pack Go, and I will say BritCaveBlitz.